Well, the deadline is done. 63 total players were traded out and shipped, which is the record for most players moved in one NBA deadline. So that was crazy to start with. But we know, there were some big names, some names that we didn't think that could be traded. Some people that wanted to finally get out, kind of just gave up on their team. So we will talk about that and, just kind of look at what the trade deadline has done for a couple of these teams and look at the bigger trades and then, look at possibly the buyout market that is coming here. Well, now that's basically what teams will be going for to try to, fill out the rest of their team. So this is Ball Announced. Shawn and Grant, back at you. Yeah, Grant, I guess, what are your thoughts on just before we get into things, just the trade deadline and, what else?
Dude, it was wild, man. It was probably one of the craziest. Just like you're checking, like I had, Shams, notifications on the whole time. Like it's one of those off season, like those not off season, one of those trade deadlines where you're just like holy crap, like okay, he got traded. Oh, he's okay. This happened too, and like I think what like was like so shocking was like how many teams were involved in all these trades, like specifically, like well I know we'll get into it there, but like the Jimmy Butler trade. I mean, I don't know exactly the number of how many people it was that ended up getting traded or picks and everything like that, but you basically involved like a whole roster with all the moves that were made. So just like like you said, sheer number of like players that got traded. There was a couple names that I was kind of surprised didn't get moved around, but yeah, overall, it was definitely entertaining. It was something where you're always checking your phone, always checking the group chat to see, what's going on here, what's going on there. So, it was very, very entertaining from a fan's perspective. That's for sure.
Absolutely, no question. And so, yeah, I mean, let's just get into it where we kind of left off. The last trade we talked about was the Aaron Fox trade to the Spurs. That was a pretty big one. After that, before let's slow down for Jimmy Butler. Got my real fast. Kyle Kuzma and Chris Middleton get swapped. Kyle Kuzma and Jericho Sims, a couple seconds, go to Milwaukee. Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, pick swap, go to Washington. Lon Wright to New York and Patrick Baldwin Jr. to San Antonio. That 4-team trade right there. You got any thoughts? Obviously Chris Middleton, champion back with the Bucks. I think Giannis and Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez, I think are the only people left from that championship roster. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts, on that trade?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really think they moved the needle by any means. I don't think that they necessarily got like that much better necessarily this year, but I think overall the trade was good just in the sense that Kuzma's a little bit younger, bringing in another guy there, which again, he's kind of very similar to the way Chris Middleton plays. I mean, he's a wing there. He's not ever really been, he's never, a first option, second option, but he's definitely the type of guy that can, like, hold it down, go for like a cool 15 or so. So it's, end of the day, I don't think it really was, like I said, didn't move the needle for me, but it definitely, in my eyes, was a good trade for them. I think time will tell, of course, but I think right this very second, I think it was a pretty good trade for them. I like the fact that they have another option within Kuzma there, to kind of take some of the stress off Dame and Giannis there. See if they can do something with that. But yeah, I didn't really think it was anything special per se. But like I said, yeah, just a solid trade in my eyes. Like give it an overall B.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Give it a B right there. I mean, Kyle Kuzma kind of is a Chris Middleton type of player, just less defense. So that's kind of like they got younger in the position. Middleton's age and his injury history and things like that. I think is just a matter of time before they kind of got rid of him. So yeah, like you said though, not that big of a trade. I don't think it really moves the needle for Milwaukee or anything. An odd trade, a big trade that I don't think does anything. Maybe the Raptors, a powerful playing team. But Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans gets shipped to Toronto for Kelly Olynyk in a second. I thought it was just a weird trade, especially with Ingram's situation of tension and whatnot. I he signed one, with this trade. Yeah, I just don't know why it was Toronto out of a club could have gone to, but
Yeah, no, I was the exact same way there. I was just, for one, I mean, I thought Brandon Ingram was going to be on the move. Like, it wasn't a question of, I thought, like, is he going to get traded? But it was just kind of like, oh, like the Raptors. Interesting. I didn't really see that going there, but just real quick, speaking on the Pelicans, just real quick, kind of talking about trades that didn't happen. I was kind of shocked Zion didn't get moved around. I thought the Pelicans might have blown it up completely, and kind of, look to dish some of their stars to see if they could, get some draft capital, some younger guys to build around, but they didn't, which I
Yeah.
thought was pretty interesting. I know you put out on the Ballin' Out podcast, I believe, or I don't know if it was your own Twitter account, but the hypothetical trade with the Pistons
Mm,
to get Zion
yeah.
was what Zion and
Jose Alvarez,
Jose Alvarez for what Tobias Harris and who was it?
beef stew.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it looked interesting. I mean, if the Pistons could have acquired Zion, I would have been pretty hyped. I would have been very very ecstatic about that one. I thought he would have been just a perfect complement with Cade. But yeah, I was a little disappointed to see him not kind of go anywhere. Because I do like watching Zion play, and it kind of sucks that the Pelicans are just straight booty cheeks. So yeah, again, just real quick on that, I was kind of a little shocked that some more of the Pelicans, I should say, didn't get moved around or anything like that.
Yeah, and you said Zion. I mean, CJ McCollum. He was another one that I thought was definitely tipped just because, I mean, the Pelicans are the worst team in the league right now, Washington. So, like you said, with their injuries and things like that, it was kind of odd that they didn't make it. But expect something. I think something this summer is going to happen, whether they, try to trade someone or do something. But yeah, I think more to come with that. It's going, off, the Raptors. They also, I mean, they got PJ Tucker, who got rerouted from the Jazz and I think a bunch of other teams. But Jonas Valanciunas from the Wizards, we talked about them earlier, got shipped to the Kings for City Sissoko and 2 seconds. Um, I thought Jonas before the Mark Williams trade, which we'll talk about next, he's going to go to the Lakers possibly. But, that's another odd trade.
Yeah, I was hoping he would have gone to the Lakers. Just again, we needed a big man, needed an interior defensive big man. And yeah, I was kind of shocked to see where he went, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. They got some good picks and everything there, so it wasn't anything I was like, oh, okay, like that's like, shocking or anything, but I was a little disappointed not to see him go to the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, staying with the Lakers, you guys did get a young Mark Williams, but had to ship out Dalton Connect, Reddish, a first round, and a pick swap. Obviously, I thought Dalton was going to be a steal in the draft this year for the Lakers, and just the way he ended his college career. But he hasn't kind of really fanned out in LA. So I think Charlotte, he has kind of, a little bit of chance to do something, especially with the injuries and things that they have over there. But, what are your thoughts on acquiring Mark Williams to that new Lakers?
Well, I've had the day to actually process everything now and think about it, but overall, my 2 cents, I am very disappointed that Dalton Connect had to go. I thought he was a perfect kind of off the dribble, he can make things happen type of guy for the Lakers. He's a knockdown shooter, of course, which um I mean they still have like like wing shooting and everything, but it's not deep, or it's not, I'd say, top of the line. So I was a little disappointed with his departure. Now speaking of Mark Williams, there again, two things with him that I've because I was watching. Obviously, they put together some highlights, obviously, so it's all his best stuff that you see. Whatever, it's nothing like all the bad stuff. But
Mm.
one thing I will say that he needs to kind of shapen up with is I've heard that his effort was not there at times. He was a little bit on the lazier side of things, if you will. Um, and so with his role with the Lakers now, I expect him to kind of be like, hey, like you are going to be the man here. You're playing with some veterans. With I mean, LeBron James has been in the league for 40 plus years now.
Yeah.
We got Luka, who just absolute superstar of a guy. His IQ is probably right up there, I'd say. With LeBron and all that. So you have these guys, I think, that are actually going to like kind of push you to be better. I think when he was on the Hornets, the Hornets were more or less just not a good basketball team. And so, I mean, you get in that mindset, like when you're on a bad team when things are struggling, you might not try as hard, but like when the pressure's on, which I think it's going to be in Los Angeles. So I think he definitely will step up and like in terms of just pure effort. But another thing I want to say is I think offensively, he is going to be a perfect complement for the pick and roll with either LeBron or Luka there. I mean, he's got, I think his like wingspan or whatever, he's 9'9" or whatever. He basically can dunk just by standing up. So it's just, again, dishing it down to him and down low in the post off the lob, anything like that nature. It's going to be perfect for him, for LeBron and Luka there. Like they're going to have a field day, I think, with that. I think his offensive number is going to go up a little bit, which he's already averaging, 15, 16, whatever it was. Like I think he'll kind of stay right around there, if not maybe just a little bit more. I think his usage will go up. So I'm excited to see like that part of it. I know he was top 35 or something like that in the league for blocks. So I mean he's got the interior length, like he can do it. But on the other side of that, I know you sent it to me. I know I was looking up some more research. Like Anthony Davis cooked that man last time they played, absolutely cooked him. So I'm a little bit skeptical to see like how he does against a true big man, like you were mentioning AD. I mean Jokic, like stuff like that. Once you actually get down to the playoffs, it's going to be a bit of a question mark there. But overall, I think with him being only, he's 23 years old. He's very young, very very young in that sense. So I think for the Lakers' future in general, I should say, I think it was actually a pretty good pickup. Just in terms of like all that, he's going to be able to score on offense, defense. I'm hoping he can step that up a little bit because if he can, he's going to be a phenomenal player for the Lakers, truly. But yeah, I mean overall, I mean I haven't given it an official grade yet. I'd say personally, I would honestly give it probably right around a B plus even, just kind of. Again, acquiring a young talent. The only thing is, again, like I mentioned at the very beginning, don't connect with somebody that I didn't really want to be a part of that trade. However, life goes on. It is what it is. I think we gave up more for that than we did with the Luka trade, which is something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think this definitely. Lakers needed a big man. Plain and simple. Could not stress that enough. So at the end of the day, they went out and got what they needed. So only time will tell. But at the end of the day, I would say I am pretty pleased with that trade.
Yeah, no, it was a decent trade, but I agree. Like you said, the defense, he's going to definitely need work on that because I'm telling you, y'all played Nuggets the first round, which right now you are in the fourth matchup. It's barbecue chicken for Jokic all long. That might be 5 game series, and the Lakers and the Nuggets don't do well. So
Yeah.
we don't have Anthony Davis, who struggled against Jokic himself. So if AD was struggling, he's one of the best defensive bigs in the league. Mark Williams has basically no. You know, it's be hard. Not. I think the other thing too for Mark Williams, he's got to stay healthy and stay on the court.
Yeah,
Then he's
that's fair.
out. I saw something. He's played, less than 60% of his games that he's been in the league, on par with right there from the last couple seasons. So interesting to see, how that will kind of fill out and work out once, everyone's healthy. Moving on, the Cavs did a questionable trade for DeAndre Hunter from the traded away Karis LeVert, first swap, second round pick. So Atlanta got a lot of picks out of it, but Cleveland best in the West this year. They get DeAndre Hunter, who has kind of had a career year offensively, and we all know about his defense. Do you think this moves the needle for the Cavs as terms of I guess making a deeper playoff run? I still think they're a second round exit, but what are your thoughts?
I was gonna say the same thing. I think there's still a second round exit. If I mean, I think best case scenario for the Cavs team. I just think any Donovan Mitchell team, you're just. I don't think you make it really past the second round, and if you do, you're gonna go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you're gonna play the Celtics and get smacked. That's my kind of 2 cents. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I would not put the chances of that being very high. I think once it actually gets down to the playoffs, it's not the regular season anymore. We've seen some of these teams. Every single Donovan Mitchell team he's ever been on has been a top, probably 1 or 2 seed. Basically, it feels like when he was with the Jazz, and same thing with the Cavs. But the end of the day, they haven't made a conference final. They haven't really done anything like that. For me, I just don't see it. I don't see it them taking the next step. And for me to get them to that next step, I think you needed way more than that. I think you needed like truly an actual like a star there to move the needle. And again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would not put the chances high of them making the conference finals, especially making it past.
Finals, I think. I mean, it depends on the playoff match, but I just
Mhm.
be making it to the conference finals, unless they play an easy first round, second round. So, speaking of it, and I still don't know what they're doing. They did trade Bogdan, 3 second round picks to the Clippers, Terrence Mann and Bone Talent. As a Clippers fan, I would see Terrence Mann. Thank him for his 2020 run heroics. When Kawhi went down, taking us to our first Western Finals, that's great. But since then, he's been in and out of the lineup. This year he got hurt and fell out of the rotation. Bones Highland, since we traded for him 2 years ago, has never really been a part of the. So it's basically kind of two roster spots got for Bogdanovic, who is a good shooter, is having a down year, but I think hopefully it can give a boost off the bench and do something scoring wise. I saw the other night.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't have too much Terrence Mann. Obviously, he had his time a little bit. He was alright, but yeah, to be honest, I didn't pay too much attention to this trade, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But there's a couple other small trades. Caleb Martin goes to Philadelphia for Quentin Grimes. He goes to Dallas. You had Reggie Jackson, who got waived to Philadelphia for some picks. Nurkic from the Suns departs. He goes to Charlotte with a first round pick there for Cody Martin, Micic, and a second pick. And then Marcus Smart, Cole Jones, Alex Len from Memphis get traded to Washington. Bagley, Johnny Davis, this pick, and the Sacramento Kings got Jake LaRava. Clippers also did another Kevin Porter Jr., John Vaughn, who I think is a young prospect, very raw. We'll see if he even makes a rotation. But yeah, those are some of the smaller trades, but got to save the best for the last biggest trade that we had. Jimmy Butler, you got to wish he's out of Miami. Go to Golden State, play with Stephen Curry, who needed that second star. Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, Kyle Anderson, and a first round pick from the Warriors go to Miami. Also in that deal was the Utah Jazz, Schroeder. He gets routed to Detroit. Lindy Waters from Golden State goes to Detroit also with round picks. The Jazz got KJ Martin and Josh Richardson out of that deal as well. Let's just start with Golden State's side of the thing. Where would you give this a grade? Do you think Jimmy Butler and Steph do anything? I mean, this year, let's keep it for this year. I don't think maybe they make it through the play-in to the first round, but I think even if they 8 seed, they get beat by OKC, and second seed, they get by your beat Houston or Memphis. So
Yeah, I give the overall trade a C minus. For the War, I don't know. I had a lot more respect for Jimmy back in when he was on his playoffs run with the Heat back in the day. Even like 2023, he had a good run there, knocking out the Bucks and everything. Like talking all that talk, hitting step back threes and everything. But I don't know where that Jimmy's at now because it's not the same guy. And again, I mean, yes, you can say some of that's just on like the whole Heat culture, if you will, I guess, with all that and everything that he wasn't happy. But like again, I think if they get the 8 seed, like you just said, the Thunder are going to beat them. Thunder are giving them BTA. If I'm being honest, I don't. Again, like Steph needed another star, which again at the end of the day, that's why I wouldn't give it like an F or anything. But like, I don't think Jimmy Butler is that guy that's going to take you to that next level there. I truly don't. I think they might have some special plays together, might be here and there, but overall, this doesn't do anything for me if I'm being honest with you. I saw that trade and we both agreed it was just like ew.
yeah,
Like I don't think this does really anything for the Warriors if we're being honest. It's just yeah, I mean that's really all I gotta say. I was not a huge fan of it personally. I know it might be a hot take, but at the end of the day, I really don't think that the Warriors got that much better at the end of the day.
No, I don't think they got better at all. I think, they lost some depth within it, so they may have gotten a little bit worse. But, Steve Kerr loves playing his 10, 11, 12 man lineups out there, so he's kind of forced, not to do that anymore. I'm interested to just see how long it'll be before Draymond and Jimmy Butler get into it.
Oh yeah. No, dude, those two are gonna be, I mean, button heads every single day at practice. And I'm telling you, man, if Draymond ran Kevin Durant out of there, I'm not saying he's gonna run Jimmy Butler out of there or anything like that. Jimmy Butler's a lot more, hard headed and everything, but it's not gonna be good for chemistry. I think even if you want to say like, oh yeah, like hey, like teammates fighting for you can see that they have passion. I don't think it's that type of like the right type of passion. I think it's just not. I think it's gonna be dudes barking at each other the whole time and just yelling out, and Steph's just out there, doing his thing. Like truly, I don't. I think this is just gonna be another like, oh yep, Steph is just kind of sitting back watching this whole shit show go down.
Yeah,
So yeah, at the end of the day, like you said, there's just too many factors where I'm like, I don't think that this got them any better.
yeah. With that, also, Jimmy Butler signed a 2-year, $120 million contract
Oh,
extension.
and that too, yeah.
He getting paid almost $60 million a year. So, if I'm Golden State, hey, I'm expecting at least to get to the second round with all of that. And
Conference finals with two. I mean, yeah, that much money. I mean, seriously.
standards, yeah, second round is, weak. You better make it to the conference finals. I just don't think that, this team is going to be able to do anything this year at least. Maybe next year in the summer they can come back and retool it around, Jimmy Butler. I think, they think about getting rid of Draymond and try to turning him into something. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, like you said, doesn't really move the needle. Doesn't really frighten anyone. I think in the Western Conference. Um, on the other side of that trade, go to Team Two, Miami Heat. They got Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson. Andrew Wiggins has kind of had a good year, one of his best years he's had in his career. He goes to, a Miami team that's sitting right now in the play-in, trying to jump to the playoffs. And then, with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, you think that's a good fit? Does it do anything for Miami?
Mm, I think it definitely gets them in like a better spot. I mean, anything with getting Jimmy Butler off the team was going to be a better spot, just because. I mean, team chemistry is just it wasn't there. I mean, simply when you got a guy that's leaving practice because they tell him he's not going to start, like it's just kind of like I don't know. I'd be so pissed if I was on that team. Just kind of like, what the hell, dude? Like, you're literally giving up. Like, I mean, so at the end of the day, I think it's going to be like a nice, breath of fresh air just to get some new guys in there, and I think you'll definitely see it. I think it'll definitely kind of give them a little bit of a spark. But like, I see the Heat making the playoffs now. I do. I see them. I see them at that 7, 8 seed right there. Maybe they could climb to the six, but I probably have them around that 7 or 8 seed for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? Miami has the last couple of years. I mean, it's due to partly of Jimmy Butler has kind of shocked people in the playoffs. But hey, if we get a Cavs Heat first round, Wiggins plays like the way he's playing, which is a little bit better offensively than Jimmy Butler, and the rest of the Heat team, they have a couple role players that just come out of nowhere. That could be it right there. Even though the Cavs are doing good, so that's a hot take right there. But who knows? We'll
I
have
don't hate it. I
yeah.
don't hate it.
The third team in the trade, Detroit Pistons, got their backup ball handler point guard that they needed, especially after the Jaden Ivey injury. Dennis Schroeder, Lenny Wanner's third also goes to this team. While we're talking about, I was a little bit disappointed that the Pistons didn't go, a little bit more into the deadline, a little bit more aggressive. They had the most cap space, of any team, and could really do anything. But they were able to fill one of the holes that they needed in Dennis Schroeder. Before he got shipped to Golden State in Brooklyn, he was having a great year, and went to Golden State and was kind of off. And I understand that trade when it happened, but he can provide a lift off the bench. He can play make. He can score.
Mhm.
Be a good fit for the Pistons.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great little plug-in piece there. I mean, it's a backup point guard. That's exactly what the Pistons needed. So again, like you said, it would have been nice to see him make some bigger moves, but I think they're saving for the off season. I think they're going to do something. I really do. I think they're going to make a big move in the off season.
I think so too, because the Cade extension kicks in, so they have a little bit more clarity of okay, like where can we go money wise. But yeah, I'm hoping summer.
Which I think that might have been a factor of it too. Is like, okay, if we can't get like that guy basically on the team now, it's like we're not going to do it. And I think that was part of it a little bit. They just got the pieces they needed, which I mean wasn't much. It wasn't like the Pistons are not going to go to like the finals, Eastern Conference. They're not doing anything like that. However, I mean, if they make the playoffs with this squad, like it just shows you, like okay, like we're on the right direction. You're moving up, and so I was a little shocked to see him not make a move, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I think you're holding out a little bit for something potentially better. So I wasn't like mad or anything. I was just kind of like, huh, interesting. So
Yeah, yeah.
um,
No,
yeah.
I'd say it was you filled the hole that you needed, to playoffs essentially, and Detroit fans should be glad it's just that. So I can't complain too much. To wrap things up, want to see your biggest loser and your biggest winner from the trade deadline.
Biggest loser was for sure the Los Angeles Clippers because they didn't do jack diddly really.
Fair.
I just think, I mean, the only reason I say that too, I'm not even dogging on your team like that, but like you guys are sitting there at the 5 seed, like you guys, I would say you guys, maybe not overperformed is the right word, but like, you guys have been pretty steady. I mean, pretty consistent, pretty solid this year. So I thought maybe you guys would make a push to try to get somebody to kind of, you know, better hold up in the West there. Kind of see how that all went down. But I was a little shocked to see you guys didn't make really any moves. I know you even tweeted about it, saying what the hell, like my team's ain't making no moves. So I was a little shocked just with again where their position was at and kind of some of the guys they have in the squad now. I thought they could have definitely acquired some fresh legs, some new guys there. But again, I mean up there I'd say they're probably up there just because they didn't really do anything, and they're probably one of the better teams that were in position to kind of make some moves. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might hate it, whatever, but Lakers won this. What Lakers won? I mean, they got Luka Doncic. So at the end of the day, that was enough for me. It's just like I am genuinely still in like shock. Like I saw him in a Lakers jersey, today. He's spinning the basketball or whatever, and it's just like everything about it looks so it looks so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just looks so off. But like it's just gonna take some time. I was hoping he was gonna play Saturday, so we could all watch that, at the bar or whatnot. But it sounds like Luka's gonna start. He's gonna come in on Monday against the Jazz. So I'm very curious to see how it works out. But yeah, I think Lakers got exactly what they needed. I mean, I didn't expect them to get Luka, but when you get Luka, all you needed was a big man, and they did that. It wasn't necessarily the big man I would have gone after, but at the end of the day, it's a big man nonetheless, and it's a younger guy too. So I'm really not mad about that at all. And I think at the end of the day, they did not give up anything too crazy. I mean, I know at the end of the day, Anthony Davis is like that guy, but it's like when you're getting Luka back at the end of that, it's really not the worst. So I would personally say the Lakers probably won the trade deadline. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'd have to unfortunately say the Lakers, won the trade deadline. Just, I mean, like you said, the Luka trade. I mean, you didn't really give anything up. You fleeced, yeah. So I'd say they were bigger winners of the draft or the trade deadline here. Losers, I got a couple actually. Number one, the Chicago Bulls, who have a plethora of point guards. So I have no idea. The second would be also like you said, the Clippers. Surprised that they didn't do anything, but I expect them to be very aggressive in the buyout market here. As we get closer to that time here in the next couple of weeks. And my third would be the Phoenix Suns. A lot of smoke was about that team with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, and they're sitting kind of side looking in of the play-in, play in, play off right now. So yeah, I was interested that they didn't really do anything and nothing happened. And it'd be shocking to see apparently reports that said that they to see how they go this off or the rest of this season into the postseason, and then reevaluate in the off season. I'm gonna tell you here right now, if they don't make the playoffs or they get bounced in the first round, Kevin Durant's gone because Bradley Beal, he's this whole trade clause thing gonna mess him up. So it's either gonna be Kevin Durant or Devin Booker. I'd like to see Devin Booker request a trade and come to Detroit. That is, the dream. But I think if anybody would be moved, it would be KD because he is in that last. But yeah, so I don't really know. We'll see, how the buyout market and everything goes here over the next couple of weeks. See what teams can do.
Real quick too, I just want to get your thoughts because you mentioned the buyout market real quick, and I was talking about the Clippers, how they haven't done anything. What about Ben Simmons? I know you was talking about it. If you really want Ben Simmons on your squad, Ben Simmons, we're talking about the same guy here, right?
Yes. The only reason why I like Ben Simmons is two things. One, he's a ball handler. He's a big ball handler. And two, he wouldn't need to do much other than pass the ball and act like a big. So it kind of fits. Within the team. We're not asking him to come in and score or anything like that. So but if he's able to kind of get back to himself and put layups and dunks and things like that, like he was back in the day, hey, that's just a plus. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But all I'm saying is Clippers have done it before in the past. They've gotten players and rejuvenated their career, and so if it happens, it happens. But I'm not sit here and bank on be like just turn all-star all of it. He's just been a bum for the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's gonna sit on the bench. And I'm gonna say this too. This is maybe a hot take, whatever. But if you guys get Ben Simmons, it will be the downfall of the Clippers. It will be all over. You guys, I'm telling you, Ben Simmons he's a bum. Even if you just ask him to go up there and just lay up and dunks and all that, he's not gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that. He's gonna sit his ass on the bench because he's probably not gonna play. Something's gonna happen. I'm telling you. If you guys were to go after him, I see no way that makes you guys any. It doesn't get you guys any better, in my opinion.
It's another defender too, more length. So we'll see. Listen, if the Clippers they cannot do anything for the next year and a half. 2026, summer 2026, we are coming. Book it.
Oh my God.
Either LaMelo Ball, Giannis Antetokounmpo is coming to the Clippers because they still have the money. I think by then Kawhi might be retired. James Harden, he may be looking to be out the league, and so yeah, but that's 2 years away, so the league could look a lot. Who knows, bro? But yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye out there on the buyout market, see what's going on out there, and see what happens for sure. But I just want to bring that one up because I know you were tweeting out about that a little bit. You were
yeah,
praying for him.
yeah. No, that's good. I like that. I like that right there. But yeah, man. So yeah, like you said, we'll watch out for that buyout market. And as we're approaching the All Star break, we'll kind of in the next episode we'll talk about a little bit about that, and then talk about mid-season grades, about everything like that. So, but until then, we will catch you guys next time.